Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Johnny, I'm the owner of Mockwheel Portland, and I am here to talk about the 4 reasons why you should buy from a dealer in 2026. By, I mean e-bikes. I've been a Mockwheel dealer for 3 years. Before that, I sold scooters, I sold e-bikes, I sold one wheels, I sold boards, and I think I have a decent amount of expertise when it comes to protecting yourself when you're buying something online. I made a couple of videos before this about things to watch out for when you're buying online. Also, I have a couple of videos about how to deal with online companies. But the truth is, we're living in 2026 now. It's a little bit of a more treacherous road than it's ever been for direct-to-consumer sales. And that's why I think it's really important I made this video talking about the 4 reasons to buy from a dealer in 2026. So first, let's start with the obvious one. You get to try it before you buy it. I tell customers, even if they are just starting out looking, I say go to every bike shop you can and ask them to try to demo some of these e-bikes. The best decision you can make for yourself is by getting your hands on something and by trying it out. If a bike shop isn't going to let you try or demo a bike, I would be very wary about what kind of financial situation they might be in, because usually that means their inventory is low and they don't want to let anything go because it's brand new. That might be great for specialty bikes, but I don't see how that's going to help a customer make a decision if they aren't allowed to try the bike out and take it for a test ride. We pride ourselves on test rides. I even let customers take them home and ride it in their own neighborhoods and on their own hills and on their own streets, because I know how important it is to make sure that they're making the right decision. And sometimes there's not enough words, or I can't find the descriptions to tell them enough about the bike. So I say, just take it and I'll come pick it up in a couple days, or you can bring it back in a couple days. Now, a lot of bike shops won't do that. If they don't, then that's probably a giveaway that they either don't trust the product or they don't have a lot of inventory because they're having issues with their manufacturer, or they're having financial issues and they might not be around very long. Unfortunately, what we've seen in 2026 is a lot of companies are struggling a lot. So trying it before you buy it is a huge part of the buying process. What does that mean? That means that you're going to be able to get something that you already know that you're going to be able to use. It's going to fit you. It's going to be the right size. It's going to feel how you want it to feel around corners and up the hills. So trying everything before you buy it, regardless if you're going to buy it from them, is still going to get you a little bit more knowledge and give you a little bit more intelligence for making the best decision, because feedback just from an electronic standpoint is great. And then obviously the sizing and the feel and the weight and all those things are super important. So I cannot stress this enough. Even if you aren't planning on buying from a dealer, go to a dealer and pick their brain and then take a couple of bikes out for a test spin. It's going to change your life. All right, the next thing for reasons to buy from a dealer in 2026 is going to be the expertise that you're going to be able to get from a dealer. You buy from dealers, there's dealers who have been in the game a lot more longer than I have, and they will give you some crazy insights. In fact, I call some of my dealers on a regular basis, dealers in my network, other Mockwheel dealers, just to pick their brain, because I know there's something that they know that I don't know. And whether it's about the technology changing, whether it's about the industry itself, whether it's news about the brand or some of our models, I'm gonna find little bits of information. And the biggest source of information for dealers is their customers who ride them on a daily basis. And that's just another reason why dealers actually have more information a lot of times than the customer service support lines for these companies online, because the companies online might know a lot of the technical questions and they might be able to answer a lot of the electronical and a lot of the error codes. They might be able to be great at that, but they are not seeing these bikes being ridden on a daily basis. And so they might not understand a lot of some of the wear and tear issues. They might not understand a lot of the simple fixes that you might be able to get from a dealer. And just ask honest questions. So what are the biggest problems you see with this model? What are the biggest problems you see with this model? What are the warranty issues? Have you seen this with a battery? And pick their brain, because they're obviously going to have a ton of information, but what they're going to really have is some real life, everyday use information that you just won't find anywhere else. So go to a dealer, Number one, try a bike, try it. Number two, pick their brain, ask them a bunch of questions. I love when customers ask me questions because usually I'm gonna have a really good answer. And if I cannot find it, I will ask and I will get back to you. So right away, you're gonna have a little extra level of expertise when you're making a purchase that you're gonna get from a dealer and you're not gonna get from anyone else. You could watch a million YouTube videos and review shows and you're not gonna be able to get as much real life feedback from dealers as you are going to get from a YouTube video. So the third reason you should buy from a dealer in 26 is the warranty. So I always call myself an added layer of warranty for my bikes because I'm putting my name out there and I'm putting my money behind the brand because I am starting a business based on the bikes that I sell. So not only are you getting the manufacturer's warranty, but you're actually getting the dealer's warranty as well because the dealer's reputation is based on how well he services these things. And if he's servicing them well, he's gonna have word of mouth. He's gonna have return customers. He's gonna build a business based on how he treats people. And aftercare service is just as important as pre-sale information and expertise. Something does come up that might be manufacturer warranty. I am the first person that is going to take in the information from my customers on what's going on with the bike, and I'm gonna interpret that to my manufacturer. And I know a little bit more about the nuances of how to talk to the manufacturer. So I know what they're gonna look for. I know how to give them the proper information and get them warranted and repaired in a timely manner. A perfect example of this, and this is what I did in my last video, when good companies go bad, I outlined an example that happened to me last summer about a company that went bankrupt or went under new ownership. And I had a warranty come back for 2 products, and they were scooters, I will say that. So I don't want to give away everything, but they were scooters that came back. The displays weren't working. It was an obvious quick fix, but it was a warranty issue. So what happened? I was in playing telephone tag with basically an AI system for 6 months. It was a nightmare. But because I sold them that bike, I felt responsible. A product that has a warranty on it and then not back it up if I can help it anyways. And of course, my 2 options were pay for it out of pocket, which is what I did, install it, make sure it works, give them back to the customers. And they were very patient. They waited up to, I think they were waited almost 5 months. The other option for me was to give them in-store credit for the amount purchased. If you think about that from an insurance perspective, you're gonna get an added layer of warranty because let's say the company goes under and you aren't gonna be able to get warranty, you're at least gonna have them to be responsible for the product. So obviously there's other legal ramifications about whether who's responsible for a warranty, who's not. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be easier for the dealer to give you an in-store credit or to fix it themselves out of pocket than it is for you to for like legal dispute for no reason. So it's way easier for that. So that's why dealers will always make that choice. And if they are good business, obviously business owners, they will make that choice. So it's an added layer of insulation so that you don't have to deal with anybody at the manufacturer. And it's also an added layer of insurance. So you have little to nothing to worry about when you buy from a dealer. Now, obviously, a dealer can go out of business. We actually just had to close our location. Corvallis, rest in peace, because the market was just not there and because we had staffing issues. Multiple reasons. Anyways, I had to send out a blanket message to everyone saying, hey, this location's gonna close. We're gonna look at moving it. But in the meantime, you have to come for service at one of our other locations. You're trying to make the best decision you can make, but at least you have a person there that's going to give you a peace of mind, that's gonna say, hey, we're gonna take care of the warranty for you. It's gonna be a lot easier and quicker anyways, and then we're gonna install it, we're gonna make sure it works, and we're gonna send you back with something that is completely back intact. If we can't do that, we're gonna reimburse you some way or another. So you have to think about it like that, because in this day and age with electronics moving at high rates of speed, anything and everything can and will happen. We live in the Northwest. I tell people all the time, e-bikes are 100% waterproof. You're not gonna have to worry about that. But at the same time, I've seen shit happen, and shit happens in the form of, oh, my kid drove my e-bike into the pond, or my hunting buddy submerged it in the creek. And in cases like that, extreme cases, that dealer, I covered those guys. And it's not because I wanted to dispute with them if they could submerge their bikes or not, but I thought it was easier for me to work on their bike as a warranty than it was to try to point out to them that that's not the correct use of the bike. Now, you have extreme cases where people leave their bikes out on the beach for a year and it's completely corroded to the point where none of the screws will actually come off without breaking. Those conversations I've had too. And I've had to say, this is obviously misuse. But on 99% of the time, I was covering their ass and I was telling them, don't do that again, but I'm gonna work on it and I'm gonna get you back on the road. So at the worst, I've covered it for cost, but you're at least gonna have peace of mind when you leave a bike shop knowing that your e-bike is gonna be good for the warranty. At the end of the day, the bike is gonna be just as good as the people you buy it from. And so I cannot stress it enough. The warranty is double strong when you buy it from a dealer. Now, the fourth and final reason you should buy from a dealer in 2026 is the service. The smaller issues, the bigger issues, you're gonna be able to get me on a phone. It doesn't matter where you are. You'll be able to get me on a phone faster than you will on a customer service line. I'll be able to probably pinpoint the issue faster because of that, because you won't be going through added layers of send documentation as you would with a customer service or an online company. And the other reason is, just like I said before, we see these bikes out in the wild every day. I've got commuters, I've got kids, I've got young adults, I've got people who are adventure riding, I've got hunters, I've got people who use these in every situation you can imagine. And I've seen a ton of shit. So what does that mean for you? Is that means simple fixes that most likely will keep you guys on the road as sooner than we even bringing it in. And of course, bringing it in is even more of an advantage for you because you're gonna most likely not get charged for something, especially if it's new. You are gonna have something that is gonna work for you. You're gonna have it before you buy it. You're gonna know how it works. You're gonna know you're gonna get an orientation. You're gonna get all the sizing and accessories put on that you need. Then you're gonna get the expertise before you buy it. You're gonna get a little bit of knowledge about how it works, how you're expected to use it, how you're expected to see it work throughout the years. And then you're gonna get a great warranty with added protection, added insulation from, you're gonna have another layer of protection from that. And then of course, you're gonna have the service that really should be the main thing that is gonna separate the dealers from online companies. But the service is, again, the number one, probably most important thing you're gonna get. Customers come in all the time, they don't know where to take their thing. And sometimes they don't even know how to build it. What we do is we give you something that works and that's been built professionally every single time it leaves this building. And that is for a reason. That's because we have liability insurance and there is a thing called negligence. So we don't want to let you leave this store with something that is going to cause harm or can put you in harm's way, obviously. So we have to do our due diligence. So that's why we have to hire professional mechanics. We have to go through the bikes before we send them out, and we have to make sure that everything works so that you get the best experience you can possibly get. And then we follow that up with great back-end service. So the things that the things that I really wanted to point out here were the little things. For example, I've got a commuter right now who has 2 batteries. He uses a second battery occasionally, and he came in and said, hey, this battery doesn't get as much as the other battery. Now, if you bought that online, you probably wouldn't be able to know how to illustrate that over the phone. And so you probably wouldn't say anything. He brought it up, so we took out his battery, we measured it compared to another battery, and sure enough, we found the voltage was off. So he said it was getting a little bit less than the other one. He was right. What did I do? I gave him a brand new battery right out of the box, right away. I warrantied that battery retroactively so that he didn't have to come back or wait for any parts coming in. And that's just something that probably wouldn't have happened with an online company. So things to think about, especially if you have a dealer in your town. Even if you're not interested in the bike brands that they carry, it's still worth it to go pick their brain and learn a little bit more about e-bikes in general and some of the uses that they're made for and some of the longevity issues, some of the best practices issues, because our customers are coming back no matter what we do because we are their service center. So we have high expectations for ourselves, and we also have high standards. So we want to make sure that we can get you something service-wise as quick and as fast as possible. And I will talk about that more in another video, which will be coming out soon, about why I became a Mockwheel dealer and why Mockwheel, who controls a lot of their own manufacturing, makes it tremendously easier for me to service. But that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you can, and I will be back next week. Thanks.